Last week, some friends and I shot a project that I'm incredibly excited to show you guys soon, but I don't want to give too much of the story away yet. So today, I want to talk to you guys about this camera rig that we used to film this little mini documentary, and how oddly enough, the batteries were actually the secret sauce that elevated both the camera rig and the footage. This video is sponsored by my friends at Smallrig, and I'm gonna be doing a series of videos with them this summer that I'm really pumped to show you guys, so stick around for those. So for the mini doc, I kind of threw together this weird Frankenstein of a camera rig with various parts and stuff, but the whole thing is built around this beast, the Lumix S5 IIX, which I borrowed from my lovely friend Connor McCaskill. Go follow him, he's great. And really quick, I chose the S5 IIX because it shoots in open gate and I want to be able to post stuff from this project on social and on YouTube. And it has incredible image quality for an affordable camera. Plus it has great IBIS. And what else? What else is good about it? It's got good autofocus, especially after the update, and we use the 24 and 50 millimeter 1.8 primes from Panasonic. Absolutely phenomenal. So we got to have some different angles for B-roll and some interviews that we shot of my friends. Overall, it's just a sick camera, and we have it rigged out here, which feels pretty dang good, pretty balanced at the hand, and it was a blast to not shoot with because my buddy Tucker Anderson filmed all this because I was a little preoccupied in Riff City. So for this project, we were gonna be in a recording studio for 2 full sessions, 2 long days of shooting. So I knew we needed significant battery life, which is where my friends at Smallrig came in clutch. The rig is kind of funny. So it's got, take 2. Always check your V-lock, boys. So the rig is comprised of these rails and bottom block that are from Tucker, a V-mount plate from an unknown brand that I refuse to say, a cage, a side handle that's adjustable, which is fun, and this top handle that I've had for freaking years, dude. I've been using this top handle forever, and I love it because there's this little mount on the front of quarter 20s where I can put a monitor mount that keeps the monitor really low, like really close to the sensor. Personally, I think it's just goofy when the monitor is like way up above the camera, when people are like filming here, but their monitor's up here. I like to have the image that I'm capturing as close to the camera's sensor as possible. Just, I don't know, my brain just feels better that way. So I love this top handle because I can have the monitor really flush with the camera. I'll link everything below, and if something doesn't exist anymore because some of this stuff is old, I'll find something as close as possible. And overall, I wanted a rig like this to not only add a ton of battery life for these long studio days, but also it gives this camera a nice amount of weight that takes the movement up 1 notch of quality. If you've shot handheld with heavier cinema cameras, you absolutely understand what I'm saying. There's just a specific look you can get when your camera's built out a little bit heavier. The handheld footage just has more of like a natural, organic look to it. Whereas if it was just the S5 IIX, it would still look decent with the IBIS especially, but it just doesn't have that like next level quality where it's like kind of heavy and wavy. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but a heavier camera just gives me such a beautiful handheld look. So I wanted to beef it out just a little bit without making it too fatiguing for Tucker to use. So Smallrig sent over 2 different kinds of V-mounts that I want to show you guys and explain the differences, which is weird because like batteries are the least sexy thing to talk about, but somehow Smallrig has made them cool and advanced the technology to the point where it's like, I actually want to share this with you guys. And I really try to just work with sponsors that I think are gonna benefit you guys and benefit me and that I actually use. And I've been using Smallrig for years, so I was happy to partner with them on this series of videos. Let's start with the small boy right here. Look how cute this little guy is. This is the VB99 SE mini V-mount battery. This guy has an 8 volt and a 12 volt output, USB-C in and out, USB-A out, and of course this has a D-tap, which is like the most common thing you'll see on any V-mount pretty much ever made. But also a little underrated feature of this guy is it has a little quarter 20 mount on the bottom. It's something the big V-mount does not have, unfortunately, and it's a nice little feature. You never know what you're gonna wanna mount a V-mount battery to. So saddle up, boys. And when you click the power button on the side of the battery here, it has this nice little LCD screen that shows you how much you got left, which is very convenient, especially when you're running long days of shooting. And even with this little guy, we were able to power, I think through over half of a full shoot day, and we had this camera on so much while we were in the studio. Having a few of these with you, you could absolutely just get through like beast shoots. You don't need a ton of these batteries if you're just doing like one-day shoots. Keep that in mind, like these little V-mounts will get you almost all the way there if you're just using them to power smaller cameras. I don't know how they do on bigger cameras, so you might want to watch some other videos, but for small cameras like mirrorless, these are incredible and they're lighter weight. But we gotta talk about the freaking big popper right here. This is the Smallrig VB212. It was made in collaboration with Caleb from DSLR Video Shooter, and I actually got to meet him last year at Sony Condo. Nice dude. Get it? Mount. Let's move on. This also has the 8 and 12 volt outs, 2 USB-C in and outs, a USB-A, and this guy has a D-tap on either side of the battery, which is very convenient. Now what separates the big boy from the little one is the screen is really nice on this, and it gives you a ton of different information when it's pulling power from different sources.
You can read out voltage and wattage for each port individually.
That's cool.
And it'll show you like a total runtime based on the current draw. Very sick. Probably the most information on a readout that I've ever seen on a battery.
What separates the big one from the little one is you get a lot more juice. You get the 212 watts versus 99, so you could power some lights with this thing. Pretty much anything you can think of that fits within the rating of this. And it just gives you way more juice. I mean, look at the size comparison between these two guys here. And I think an underrated feature of this battery, if you can call it a feature, is just the build quality and design. You can tell Caleb put a lot of thought into it. Even the bottom has these little rubber feet on it, so if it's on a surface, it's very hard to slide off of a surface, so it won't fall and break. Whereas this one is kind of just plastic. So there's a race between the two. That was good, Zach. All right, so we have the rig here that works with either battery. You can pop this on, pop it off, pop the smaller one on like so. But we have to have an honorable mention for this guy here, which is Smallrig's version of a Sony NPF style battery, and somehow they have made an NPF battery cool. They just think of things that are so simple, but nobody else seems to really be doing it. Like this has a USB-C port on the NPF battery, which seems so simple. It's an in and an out, just like the V-mount. And all three of these batteries can be charged with a USB-C port. So if you have a decent power brick from your iPad or phone or whatever, you don't have to bring a giant V-mount charger if you don't need to be constantly recharging your V-mounts on your shoot days. It's just so convenient. You can bring less gear, charge these with USB-C. Now what's cool about this little thing is it just comes in for any sort of like pinch scenario. So for instance, I didn't have an NPF dummy battery for my Ninja 5. So in order to power it for the first day, I just slapped this guy on there. I get a digital readout of the power on the battery, and it just powered my Ninja like all freaking day with this thing pretty much left on all day. The second day, Tucker brought a dummy battery, so we were able to just pop this off, put our dummy on here and run it straight into our V-mount plate, powered by the Smallrig V-mounts, and we were able to finish off the shoot with it set up that way. So that's what's cool about these batteries and the various ports, is you have options when it comes to rigging. If you have any interest in seeing this documentary that we made, subscribe, stay tuned for that. Watch out for deer, because they're running rampant and peeving me off. Text me when you get home so I know you're safe. And you guys are so, so loved. See you in the next video. Saddle up, boys. We gotta go to V-Mount Valley.